What's up, people? It's been a little bit. It's been a little bit since we've spent some quality time together. Just you and me. It's been a little bit since we've sat in my vehicle and exchanged some oxygen in each other's direction. It's been a little bit since we've sat in my vehicle and exchanged some oxygen in each other's direction. So I figured I would stop by here today to tell you how it's been, tell you how it's going, tell you how I think it's gonna continue going. Things such as that. It's time to tell you about the goings and where I think the goings are heading direction-wise. But, I'm not gonna... Life is always headed in a bleak direction, generally speaking, and I think most people's lives nowadays are generally heading in a bleak direction. No snark. We're not acknowledging or tolerating snark. But my life is always generally headed in a bleak direction and will always generally be headed in a bleak direction. But with that being said, and most people's lives nowadays are generally headed in a bleak direction, whether they acknowledge it consciously or not. But with that being said, people are generally in an uproar right now for justified reasons. It doesn't matter what political stance you have. Things have not improved for some time now. Every political party has taken their shot, so to speak, quote unquote, taken their shot at improving things by getting elected for a period of 4 years or more. And things are not improving. Coming after Social Security is always a topic that people say will be a straw that breaks the camel's back thing. And when I say come after Social Security, I mean the United States government-ran retirement program that they call Social Security. I said that would always be a straw that breaks the camel's back thing if they come after it. And if you ever hear someone that's older than me talking, because I am technically old nowadays by young people's standards, but if you ever hear people older than me talking, Social Security is something they say that the government will never come after. They always go, oh, the government will never come after Social Security. People would freak out if they come after Social Security, and I don't know what's going on in current affairs or with the government at any given moment. I try not to pay attention to it because I rightfully get upset whenever I delve into topics pertaining to the United States government and how things are being ran in the country, this, that, and the other. But apparently, current affairs wise, if you're paying attention, apparently something is going on pertaining to Social Security, and that has people in an uproar, on top of the fact that people already didn't like Elon Musk and Donald Trump and this, that, and the other. So I hear there's something on a legislative floor somewhere that aims to make cuts to Social Security. And hate to say I told you so when it comes to poor people that rely on someone's Social Security check or government aid, this, that, and the other. But I told you that voting for the current administration would lead to what's going on, and here we are. I mean, I hate to say I told you so, but I kind of told you so when it comes to that front. And you reap what you sow in that department. Really, that's kind of a you reap you sow situation. Um, but if you ask me, it's nothing that someone such as myself has any power to do anything about. I can just sit here and offer my thoughts and opinions from an outside perspective, but that's definitely a reap what you sow department kind of thing. So all of you quote unquote Republicans that are poor, that rely on government aid, whether it's disability or Social Security, this, that, and the other, this is where this is a chickens coming home to roost situation for you. All of the quote unquote poor Republicans that live off of government aid in some form or fashion, live off of disability, live off of Social Security. If they're making cuts to Social Security or trying to make cuts to Social Security, this is your chickens coming home to roost, as in, this is a problem that you kind of created for yourself by voting in the Republican department. But, I mean, people can only tell you that you're barking up the wrong tree in so many ways before it's your fault if you keep barking up the wrong tree. And being a poor person that votes Republican is barking up a tree that causes you problems eventually. And these are the problems that you face by voting Republican, and now you got to deal with them. And no one's going to save you from yourself. Only you can save you from yourself. And all of you Republican voters out there, them coming after Social Security is a you problem that you got to deal with now. And I bet it's probably not so funny anymore. It's probably not super duper funny anymore now that the Republicans that you voted into power are coming after Social Security. That's probably not so funny anymore now, is it? But it's definitely a you problem. We got our teeth rotting chemicals here. We got our refreshments. Refreshments have been acquired. The refreshment acquiring portion of today's program has been completed. We have successfully acquired the refreshments, thus bringing a conclusion to the refreshment portion of today's program. Today's refreshment. Alright, I'm sure you noticed that was a shorter timeout than other podcast episodes that featured timeouts or cuts or gaps. Those cuts and or gaps are caused by my phone overheating, thus causing my phone to stop receiving cell phone signal in order to stop generating resistance and or heat. That is because the air conditioning in my personal vehicle has been repaired, thus giving me the ability to cool my phone down using a fan. But anyway, today's refreshment is Rockstar Energy Drink. It sustains body and mind. Yep, that is what is up. I am a Rockstar Energy Drink fan. I like Rockstar Energy Drink and that it sustains body and mind. Now, with that being said, I am going to consume some THC from a gram THC cartridge. We are concluding the refreshment acquisition and consumption portion of today's podcast, and we are entering the THC consumption portion of today's program, of today's podcast. Yes, that was a substantial dosage of THC, of medical cannabis, administered to me via an inhalant route. Yes, that was quite a substantial and significant portion dosage. That was quite a substantial and significant dosage of THC administered via the inhalant route to my medulla oblongata. This has given me quite an adequate dosage of serotonin or dopamine, one of the two. This dosage of THC administered via the inhalant route to my neurological synapses has nourished me with adequate amounts of dopamine and or serotonin, along with the refreshing Rockstar Energy beverage, which sustains body and mind. Acquiring the refreshment and then consuming it in conjunction with the dosage of THC administered via the inhalant route has given me the energy necessary to go and exercise at the gymnasium, which I will do now. This concludes the THC dosage portion of today's podcast episode. So we're driving through the familiar territory. We're hitting the usual dusty trail. We're making our way downtown. Driving through the shanties. Traversing in the automobile, as they say. Yep. We're traversing in the automobile. Gotta work on my pectoral muscles. Yep, gotta work on the pectorals and the deltorials or something. I gotta work on my pectoral deftones. And yep, I'm thinking some chest press, maybe some bench press. Maybe some Nautilus, some pin-loaded machines, but I'm going to be exercising and working on things. Exercising and working on things, most definitely, so you wouldn't even begin to understand the amount of self-care that I'm exuding and engaging in. I have been burning some calories. Let me tell you what. If Hank Hill knew me, he'd be like, that boy is burning some calories. Let me tell you what. That is what Hank Hill would say. If Hank Hill knew me, he would be like, I tell you what, that boy there is burning some calories. That's what Hank Hill would say if he saw me. Hank Hill would be like, that boy right there is a calorie burning fiend. Let me tell you what. It's what Hank Hill would say if he saw me. He'd be like, that boy over there, he's a regular calorie burning fiend, I tell you what. That's what Hank Hill would say. And then he'd sip his beer. Hank Hill would sip his beer and he'd go, yep. That's how it would go. That's how it would go down. Yep. There's a lot of poverty on these streets. There's a lot of poverty. There's a lot of poverty and broken dreams. A lot of poverty and broken dreams and families. Broken dreams and families in this here concrete. In this here concrete. There's a lot of poverty here. Let me tell you. Unfathomable and inconceivable amounts of poverty. The essence of poverty. That's what's in the concrete that makes up these sidewalks. What is in the concrete that makes up these sidewalks is the essence of poverty and class suffrage. There's a lot of class suffrage stemming from economic inequality The essence of this is in the concrete that makes up the sidewalks of these streets, is the essence of suffrage stemming from economic inequality and class suffrage. That is the essence that is inside of the concrete that makes these sidewalks of these streets, is the essence of suffrage stemming from economic inequality. Yep. I will tell you what. But yeah, about to go to the gym, about to work on my pectoral muscles, about to get taught as a tiger, to quote that one guy from that one Austin Powers movie, Goldmember. Yeah, to quote Goldmember, I'm gonna go to the gym and I'm gonna work on my pectoral muscles and I'm gonna get real taut. I'm gonna get taut like a tiger. I'm gonna get real taut like a tiger. Taut like a tiger. Like Goldmember from Austin Powers. You know what I'm saying? You're picking up what I'm putting down. I know you are. I know you're picking up what I'm putting down. I know you're picking up what I'm putting down. I know you're over there nodding your head in agreement like, yeah. Yeah. I know you are. I know you're over there nodding your head like, yeah. I get what he's saying. Like Goldmember from Austin Powers. Just taut like a tiger. And that's what I'm going to accomplish with my pectoral muscles by doing dumbbell presses at the gym. I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to do dumbbell presses, and I'm going to be like Goldmember from Austin Powers. And I'm going to be taut like a tiger. And everyone's going to be like, wow, that guy lifts weights. Look at him. Look at that guy lifting weights. And they're going to be like, this is like that thing that Goldmember guy did in that Austin Powers Goldmember movie where he was like taut like a tiger. Everyone's going to do that when they see me doing dumbbell presses at the gym. They're going to be like, wow, look at that guy doing dumbbell presses. They're going to see me doing dumbbell presses at the gym, and they're going to be like, wow, that guy's got some really strong pectoral and pectoral muscles. And be like, wow. They're going to be like, that guy's triceps are spectacular. I'm telling you, when they see me at the gymnasium doing dumbbell presses, they're going to be like, wow, look at that guy's shoulder stability.